Hi guys, so I'm very excited to go over this week's new releases, which is the Floral collection. I'm so glad that I was able to get this collection up in time for the big sale. It is currently going on, and thank you so much if you have already placed an order or if you plan to. I love seeing all the orders come in and seeing what you guys pick up. But yeah, this collection is already listed in shop, so you may have had a chance to look at it, but I did want to kind of give you a little explanation as always, because there is some new stuff in this collection and some fun things that I continued on with the tradition of from the last collection, the books collection, so I'm very excited to show you the floral twist on everything. So as I said, this is the Floral collection. I did go ahead and foil this in Merlot to go with the mock spread that I have already set up. And as usual, disclaimer, any imperfections that you see in these sheets, any black spots or any miscuts are only for these demo sheets and not for any final sheets that will be sent out in orders. My machines did have a little bit of a tantrum today, so some of them are definitely cut a little bit wonky. But you'll get the idea of what the sheets look like. So let's go ahead and start with the quarter sheets. I definitely wanted to get some kind of like spring collection out, and I have been wanting to do a floral one for a while since there are so many kits out there that have florals in them. So even if that's not like the main theme of the kit, you will still be able to pull in a floral foil if you don't want to do just like a classic confetti. So this is going to be a super versatile collection. So we'll start with the underlays as usual. We have the large, which has some pretty flowers in there along with the confetti as usual. And then there is a medium version of that, which is less sparse. So this one is perfect if you have really busy days and use lots of boxes and labels that cover up most of the section. Then you can use this underlay and still be able to see some of the icons peeking out from behind them. But if you want a more sparse version, of course, there's the medium always available with these same icons. And then for the two fun ones, we have this one, which is the mixed sheet in the shop. I actually did this one first, so it does look a little bit similar to the large, but there's no confetti. It's just like small flowers of the same size, but they're like really closely packed together, and there are a lot more flower and leaf options in there. So that's pretty fun. Just like a little flower field, but actually what looks even more like a flower field is the one called Flowers in shop, which you'll recognize from the fairy collection. It is almost the same flower arrangement. There are some new flower pieces in there, and instead of the fairies flying around in there, I did replace that with some more of the teeny tiny flowers. So this one is like the floral version basically, and that one is the fairy version, but they are kind of like sister designs, if you will. I did a similar thing for the fireworks in the New Year's Eve collection. I basically used the same underlays but like slightly reformatted. So yep, of course I had to include this one as part of the floral collection as well. I do have some other floral patterns I think that I need to turn into underlays for the basics collection. That would be super fun as well. So, going into the confetti full box overlays, we have the full, as always, which is the busiest one. It has stuff in all four corners and on all four sides. So you can kind of see the various flowers and other greenery arranged in there. And then we have the medium four corner, which is just the corners. And that also comes in a 3-corner as well if you have clip art in a corner that you don't want to cover up. And the 2-corner variations. And then we have the small confetti, which is slightly smaller than the medium. There's a little size comparison for you real quick. So if you want to cover up even less of the clip art, you can grab the smalls. And then there's the small 3-corner and 2-corner. So that is all the confetti overlays. And then we have the big box overlays. So we have the border one, which has this little flower right here, and then a leaf right there. And then we have the flag overlays at the bottom, of course. And then we have the classic confetti big box overlay. These do come in 2 sizes. The taller one is good for Glam Planner and Apple Blossom prints, and probably a lot of other shops at big boxes. The smaller size, or I think it's called like shorter, is better for Apple Blossom prints big boxes. Or no, sorry, Paper Candy Art big boxes. Okay, and then we have the tall box sheet, which has the 2 most standard sizes of tall boxes. We have SPC, Crest Press, many others on this side, and then this one is good for Glam Planner. And then there's some flags on that sheet as well. And then we have our double box scenes. We have the classic confetti double box scene up top, and then we have the more fun one at the bottom, which is some larger florals in the corners. And you can see the cut lines better on the shop website, where it'll show you the mock version, but it does cut off about here. I do always like to print extra or like the full design, just in case the cut lines want to be 1 or 2 millimeters off, then it won't really make a difference. Similar thing for the full box overlay sheet. So we have 2 border overlays here. This one has like little rows with leaves, and this one has the really pretty flower arrangement along the bottom with the border. This one has the 2 florals in the corners, and this one has a little wildflower scene along the bottom. While I am here, I am going to let you know that there is a custom quotes floral sheet in the shop. So kind of like how there were custom book quotes for the last collection, I am going to try to do custom quotes for as many collections as it makes sense to going forwards. So if you have like some event that you're celebrating with a kit that has like lots of florals in it, and you want to like mark somebody's birthday, then you can choose like this box, and then the quote area will be up here, so you can say like happy birthday mom or something like that in there, and then have these already be built into the box. So as usual, there are 4 options on that sheet. I didn't print off the sheet because like I can kind of explain with what's here. So one of them is with these wildflowers at the bottom. As I already said, the quote area is up here. One of them is this box with the 2 corners. The quote area is here. Another one has all 4 corners filled out. So the arrangement is kind of similar to this, except it's kind of all smushed into one box. The all 4 corners has the florals, and then the quote area is the same in the middle. And then the last one is the confetti full right here, and then the quote will be in the middle. So you can choose what quote you want. I do use the same typical 2 fonts, and I'm just going to pop them in the middle. So you can put any quote that you want there, as long as it fits basically, but I can pretty much fit anything in those spaces. So yeah, that's super fun. Please check that out. I do have also a new customs section on my website. It is now its own category. So if you go up to the top navigation menu, where I have like the side part that has like new releases, basics collection, floral bundles, scripts, underneath that at the bottom, there is now a custom sheets section. So once you click that, you'll be taken to all of the custom options. So I have custom scripts in there, custom quotes. I have the individual birthday quote boxes where you can say like happy birthday and that person's name from the birthday collection. And then I also have the books custom quotes, and then the florals custom quotes. So they're all just going to be added there. And I do have more ideas for custom sheets, so those are going to be coming soon. Stay tuned. Hence why I made the category. So I also did a similar thing as to the books collection, where I'm doing like floating full box overlays, as in these are just like larger designs that you can put anywhere in a full box that you want, that you have room to. So I just did a bunch of florals. These are kind of like the florals you'll see in those other kits, like from Sticker Guru, Letters to Apollo, Sadie stickers. They all come with like additional sheets of floral, like colored ink stickers that you can get. This is like the floral version, which is really funny to me. But yeah, they are a bit large. They are all meant to like fit inside of a full box, so you can use these along the bottom because they're shorter than 1.5 inches in width. So you can use them in their entirety. But if you want to do a kind of arrangement like here, where they are like cut off, then I definitely advise you to either just cut them using a slice tool, like the slice tool, or an X-Acto knife, and just like cut them on this sheet, and just like cut your own little corner design and then like, layer onto the full box. Or, and this is what I recommend, is take like a spare piece of sticker backing, which like I don't have right now, but let's just pretend this is sticker backing. And then take a full box like this, and just take it off the sticker sheet, and then plop it onto that sticker backing, and then layer this over it where you want to. So that way it like doesn't permanently adhere to the paper because of sticker backing. And then just like layer it where you want it to, and then just pick up the full box and then just trim off the edges of the foil part with scissors that way. That's what I recommend. I really wish like I had actually prepared stickers to show you guys like a full demonstration of how that would work, but I feel like you guys could probably figure it out. But yeah, that's kind of like another way you could use these sheets. So this one is just called the Flowers Full Box Overlays, I believe, because it's like a mix of all kinds of flowers. So down here we have the ones that are like more kind of meant to be, I don't know, that they're longer basically, like they're all in this kind of style. And then these are more like circular, except for that one. So we have 2 varieties on that sheet. And then this one, I isolated all the ones that kind of looked like roses. And so we have like the longer roses along the bottom. These are 2 identical columns. And then we have some larger ones are on the top. So this one is specifically called roses, because there were just basically enough roses that I had to work with to make them their own separate sheet. And also there are kits that are rose themed. So there you go. Speaking of which, I also have a sunflower collection that I have taken out of the shop to reformat for this summer. So this is just the generic floral collection, but there's also the sunflower collection that will be reformatted this year. I don't have anything else. I don't have like daisies. I don't have sakuras yet. I may do those eventually. It's always good to keep your options open. But yeah, that is that. And then we have the quote boxes. So as usual, we have our 2 that have the full confetti on the outside. This one says plant, grow, bloom. This one says bloom where you are planted. And then I put some flowers up there. Super cute. And then the ones without the confetti, we have one in the middle that says bless my blooms. And then we have one towards the bottom that just says spring blessings. And there is also a floating quotes sheets. I didn't have too much to do for like that were flower related, but I did do a bunch of spring ones mainly for the quote sampler. So it is a small size. The last time I did a 6 sheet for the quote sampler was for the fairy collection, but this is what I do like when I don't have too many quotes to use. But yeah, I just did a bunch of spring quotes on here. So we do have the bloom where you are planted in like a different version. And then we have Spring Has Sprung, Welcome Spring, and then another Welcome Spring. This is like the one where you can use at the very bottom of the box. So there's 2 variations of that. This one can be like in the middle. And then we have Live Life in Full Bloom. That's another pretty small, subtle one. And then we have Spring is in the Air, which you can use in the middle. So those are super versatile. Wow, that's a tongue twister now. Quote overlays. So while we're already heading into the 6 sheet pile, let's start with the deco. This is going to be like super useful because I try to include like so many different individual flowers and flower heads and leaves that you can just throw them anywhere. You can really go crazy decorating your spread. These are also tiny and dainty. They're going to work so well just like anywhere you could think to put them. I do love my tiny deco. So the whole bottom row is just larger flowers and then this larger leaf. And then the medium row is just more leaf and other greeneries. And then we have sunflower heads with little leaves. And then basically the same thing, but smaller. And then the same row as before, but with, they're called clusters because they have the confetti dots. And then we have the teeny tiny clusters and then the teeny tiny. So yeah, they can get pretty small, but they're just so freaking cute. I love tiny deco. It is the best invention ever. So that's that. And then we have the corners sheet as usual. There is a clip art out there of like floral corners, and I'm sure we all used it when like Andrea of SPC had those photo corners. And I've been like wondering whether to get it or not and like offer it, because I don't think people use photo corners like of that variety really that much anymore. But like it seems like something I should offer. So I don't even know. Let me know if you want to offer it, because I know where to find it. I can get it. I can offer it. But I don't know if that's what you guys want, because these corners are pretty successful, but like that type of corner, I don't know about. So I don't know. Let me know. I can pretty much do whatever you guys want. Like it takes no time at all to throw up anything that you guys request. So just let me know what you want to see. But yeah, we have our medium corners here. We have 2 rows of those, and then we have 1 row of these small corners, 1 row of teeny tiny corners that are made specifically for this sheet. So you have just like little flower heads and then the little leaves. These are so great. You can just throw these anywhere. I love using these in like half boxes and third boxes, even quarter boxes sometimes. And then here we have the little photo corners. These work a little bit better over like full boxes, but can be used over like half boxes or any other label like that. And then we have the dividers. So we have little leaf pattern up here. We have a teeny tiny little like daisy pattern down there. We have the confetti dot pattern, which has Like these little daisies, I guess those look more like daisies than that. I don't know what flowers are. Don't ask me. I'm not a flower person. Ironically, I'm a fake flower person for sure. I am obsessed with fake flowers. And then we have these simple line dividers right there. We got a little leaf on one of them, and then it's mirrored on this side. This sheet is available in clear glossy or premium matte paper, which is great for if you're using really busy underlays like this and you want the divider design to show up against it. Get the premium matte because it'll have that white border that'll really make it stand out. So 2 options for that sheet. And then we have the swoops. Here are our swoops. These go, well, this sheet is mainly of swoops that go across the full 1.5 inch width of like full boxes or even half boxes. So we have this design, we have the second design, the third one, and then the fourth one, and then they are mirrored for the other side. And I did manage to fit in some mini swoops as well on this sheet. So that's the full swoop design, and then we have the mini swoops, which you can tell the cutting machine had a field day with this one. I don't know if you can tell really that well, but it did. But yeah, we have these 2 varieties of mini swoops, and then these 2, and then these 2. And then they are mirrored, of course. So quite a lot going on there. And then we have the dangles. So we have the long dangles, medium dangles, and then the teeny tiny ones down here, and then some garlands, and then teeny tiny swoops as well. So those are the decorative sheets. And then we have the 8th sheets. So starting off with the hole reinforcers, here they are. And then we have headers, starting with the confetti headers. There are 11 headers on each of these sheets, so you only need to purchase 2 minimum for a spread. But if you want all 3 designs, there is a buy all 3 option on the website. Here is just the flower heads. And then I think this one is called flowers on the website, and then this one is called garden, I believe, because it's like a whole row of full flowers. It's so hard to like figure out names that differentiate these designs because they're all just flowers. But I think when it's like the flower plus the stem and leaves, I think that's when I call it garden typically. So yeah, I really love this one. This one is just so cute. I don't know what it is about this flower that like in a repeating pattern is just so adorable, but it is. So that is all the 8th sheets, and then let's get into the 15 millimeter, which, oh my god, I went absolutely insane. Some collections, I just have like ideas for two 15 millimeters, and then like I'm done. But some collections, the ideas do not stop flowing. And I actually went a little crazy with this collection specifically because of the, I wanted to incorporate a lot of kind of like basic options, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But actually, let's go over the 32 millimeter first, which is this nice floral design. You may have seen this before. I have hinted at it in a couple ways. I did 32 millimeter floral washi like months and months ago before this collection even like was put on the schedule, because I wanted it for a collection or a kit that I was using, and so I did use these flowers. So you may have seen that, and then I also used the same flower pattern as like the background for the books 32 millimeter last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. But you may have seen it then. But like when it came to designing it for this collection, I originally just like kept it as is, like from its original version. But then I was like, wait a minute, I gotta make this a whole scene. Like, come on, what am I doing? I've like made it a scene like for every other collection, so I gotta do it for this one. So I did add the grass at the bottom, and then I added some butterflies flying throughout, and there is a tiny little snail somewhere in this scene. I'm not going to point out where because it's going to be a fun game for you to try to find it, but there is a tiny snail somewhere in here. I just love snails. It's really tiny, so it's not going to freak you out if you don't like snails, but it's adorable. And then yeah, we have the scene over here that's kind of like a good full box overlay. I didn't like include any of the extra stuff on this one because otherwise it would just like take up way too much space, so I wanted to keep it kind of on the subtler side. But yes, there's that. So I love that one. And then here are the million options for the actual 15 millimeters. They are in kind of a random order for the most part. So starting on top, we have the garden, which like I said, it's called the garden when it's like the full flower. And we have like pretty much all the flowers alternating. We got like tall ones and short ones here. Super fun. And then 3 of them individually for the deco. Just a very classic flower design. And then a more simpler one, we just have the singular flower with the leaves on each side. Very simple, subtle pattern if you don't want to go too crazy. And then we have fancy florals. This one is actually called fancy florals in the shop. I think this one is called flowers. That's called garden. This is called fancy florals, obviously, because I used one of the fancy floral designs. And then there's a little deco right there. It is, I think, a little bit less than 1.5 inch width. And then we have these simple line ones. So the next two options are kind of like basic options that like I could basically do for any collection. I just have to change out like the icons. So this one is simple line. And you may have seen this before from the Bow Confetti collection that released last month as well. I used this for the 15mm strip in that bundle because I didn't have much else to do, so I did the simple line, and then I did a little bow icon right there. And it was just, it looks plain, but it was so cute when I put it down in a spread that I realized I have to use it more. So I'm just going to replace out that icon with just whatever icon suits the collection that I'm doing the best. Well, I might not do this for every single collection, but sometimes it's just too cute to not do. So yeah, I just switched out for a little flower here. And then we have some cluster flowers for the deco on this sheet as well. But yeah, sometimes you just need something really subtle, and this is it. And then I finally brought in Garland 15mm washi. Like, I don't know why I didn't have this already. Like, it seemed like a natural thing to have, especially because like I have all the other garlands for each collection and everything, but I didn't have like a really long one. And I know the other shops do this. I just like hadn't done it yet. I don't know if I am going to do this for every single collection, but like this one I feel like needed it. I feel like I'm going to use this collection a lot, and I want this option for it. So I did take a couple of the swoops and garlands from those sheets, and I just like duplicated them and then added this one to each side. So they are kind of the same, and then we have that little teeny tiny flower in there as well. So this is really fun if you want something more subtle. You can also use this instead of the confetti washi. You can put this at the bottom and then put something like that on top, or that, or whatever you want. Actually, that would look really good together, I think. So you can do that. Or you can just take something like this and layer this over it. Actually, behind it would be better. Just have like the little garland behind the flowers, or if you want to grab an even more subtle one to layer over it, you can do that. That would be really pretty. So you can play around with it. I know a lot of you guys use the washi across the top of the spread too, so you can go ahead and use this across the top, but there is a better option for that, and I will show you in a second. But yeah, and then I created an entirely new swoop for this deco piece. So this is still 1.5 inch width, but it was originally just looking like that, and then I duplicated these two dangles, so now it goes across the other side too. It looks a little bit more symmetrical. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. And then we have the aforementioned confetti, and then the flag overlays. And then we have the 10 and 7mm if you have a Glam Planner kit. So here's the 10mm right here with these two alternating flowers, and then the 7 is the same confetti pattern as on the headers, and then we have two flag overlays there that are Glam Planner sized. Although Glam Planner and SPC like flag size, back when the SPC flags, so like when they had the smaller ones in the kit, I still have a ton of those old format kits, so that's why my SPC flag size, I have a lot of the small ones. I offer the larger ones too in the basics collection along with the smaller ones. They actually may be all on one sheet, but yeah, that's why I have so many. But they're basically the same size as the Glam Planner ones, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And then what I was hinting at earlier, in terms of like washi that you could use across the top, I have individual washi strips that are garlands. So these garland strips. So these are not cut for the width of 15mm washi. They are the full width of the longer one. So if you want to use it with the longer one and the shorter one, you can feel free to do that. You'll just have to trim it yourself, which is super easy because they are kiss cut. Super easy. Or you can just use these across the whole top, and you can start and stop whenever you want. So I will kind of demonstrate that when we get to the mock spread in a second. But yeah, these are basically meant to be whatever width you want them to be, depending on where you are using them. You can cut them and use them as over like full boxes, across the bottom, across the top, anywhere in the sidebar. You can use them wherever you want. So I did use 2 of the kind of swoop patterns from the Swoops sheet. So we have this like alternating garland here across the top, and then we have like the much longer one. So 2 options for that. So I do have the bottom washi strips in the basics collection in a couple of sheet varieties. There's like a dot one and a line one. But now there is a pattern option of, well, not pattern, but there's like a themed option available for this collection at least. And I hope to do this for future collections because I think it's such a fun idea. And I think this is another thing that other shops offer that like I kind of took my time on. But there's that. And then let's go into the bundle. Yeah, you can tell my silhouettes were having a bit of a hissy fit. But yeah, this bundle, as usual, is available as a mini or an ultimate. The mini does not come with underlays, and the ultimate comes with your choice of underlays from the 4 that are available in the collection. If you want to use other underlays, either from another section of my shop or from another shop, go ahead and grab the mini, and then you can just stick any underlays with it that you want. There's also an optional add-on sheet available for both the mini and the ultimate size. So the first page, of course, is the same for both versions. We have, well, every other sheet is the same for both versions. We have 2 of the Confetti full box overlays in the full size, 2 medium 4-corner, 2 medium 2-corner, and then the classic Confetti double box scene. The next 2 pages are underlays. These are the large for demonstration purposes, and then the next page has the headers. We have 1 of each header, like 1 of each design, and it adds up to 26 headers. Then you have the full set of deco, and then 2 from the quote box sheet. I did move this up towards the middle, just for variation purposes. So you can also pick up the quotes separately, and still have like 3 completely unique ones. And then we have the bottom washi page. I did choose the garden one because I think it's probably my favorite. I don't know, the garland one might also be my favorite. Oh, by the way, this is called Garland Strips in that listing, and this is called Garland. And then we have the confetti one at the bottom, of course. There's also weekend banner, date dots, tiny deco, and dividers on this page as well. And then for the optional add-on, we have 4 extra full box overlays along the top. We have 2 from the full box overlay sheet, 2 medium 3-corners, and then we have the entire corners sheet down here. We have a full set of hole reinforcers, and then we have 2, basically whatever I feel like fitting in there for each collection. So I just did 2 from the floating full box overlays right there. So that is the optional add-on. And that is the bundle that is available. It is also available unfoiled or in any of the 46 floral colors available in shop. It is also available printable, and the whole collection is also available printable as well. Alright, so the mock spread that I'm going to be doing is this one. I think it is a printable kit from La La Land way back when I was buying those printables and cutting them very shallowly with my silhouette because I was not an expert at that time. So you can see the headers are kind of hilariously cut, but it'll do. So yeah, this kit is like kind of book themed, kind of planning themed. It's got a lot of random stuff going on, but it does have a lot of flowers in it, as you can see. A lot of flowers everywhere. So I don't have that huge of a stack of like destashed kits that I want to use for mock spreads, but thankfully I did have this one in that pile that had flowers in it, so I was able to use it for this one. And you can kind of see why I went with Merlot, because it matches that perfectly, so it's gonna look great with this. Although it may blend in with a little bit of it, I think it's ultimately still the best foil choice. But yeah, so what I was talking about with the garland strips was, so they are the proper width for the 50 millimeter, as you can see. And then this one, you would just grab your scissors and trim it right there. But if you want to use it across the top, I use flags. A lot of people use icons or deco in this section, but you can basically put it from here where the page stops to that flag and just like trim it there, or you can put it from where the date cover starts and go pretty much across the entire usable width of the top. So you kind of have a lot of freedom there. And then same thing for the other side. So that's why I made them go across the full width, so you could trim it wherever you wanted to. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and lay down the foil on top of this mock spread and then come back and show you guys how everything looks all laid down and where everything is. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so here is the final mock spread. Everything has been laid down. As usual, I left one of each of the underlays uncovered, so you can see where they look uncovered and covered. So here's the medium uncovered and medium covered. Here is the flowers uncovered, and I think there's a couple places where it is covered. And we have the large uncovered and covered. And then the mixed uncovered and covered down here. So they're all super fun. We have the header overlays. So there's the confetti, and I'm trying to find better versions of the other ones against the yellow. So there's the flowers, and then it's going to be kind of hard to see the garden ones, but essentially there they are right there. Yeah, it's really hard to see this matte Merlot foil, but here's an example of what the Merlot looks like. So it is a very dark foil. So we also have the dividers. There's the confetti divider, the tiny little flower divider, and we have one of the simple line dividers right there, and then we have the leaf divider. We have some corners. There's a couple of them down there and right here. We have the dangles and swoops basically everywhere. There's some in the full boxes, and then there's some in the half boxes. Right there and there and there. And then of course there's Deco. I put some of the bigger flowers here, the smaller ones there. There's some flowers next to the clip art items. Basically just everywhere, and then some teeny tiny ones along the top. And then we have the 32mm bottom washi. I really messed up putting this one down, so obviously it's not even against the bottom, but oh wells. And then I did use the garland strips, so I used the smaller one across there and across here. Super fun. And then we have the full box overlays, so we have the double box scene one here of the flowers. You can see it a little bit better right there. And then here we have the confetti full. We have the Bless My Blooms quote. Another confetti full plus some garland. We have the border with the flower arrangement at the bottom. Here we have the opposing cornered flowers. We have the Spring of Blessings quote. We have the wildflower arrangement from the washi sheet, and then here we have the wildflower arrangement from the full box overlay sheet plus a garland. Here we have the bloom where you are planted quote, which again is really hard to see against that, but I mean you can see what it looks like on the site. And here we have the other border with the rose on top. And yeah, that is all of the full box overlays. And I think that is about it for this collection. So I did manage to grab a spare full box, some sticker backing, and I am going to use one of these from an Oops sheet that cut way off to kind of demonstrate what I was talking about. So only part of this cut correctly, so I'm just going to cut off the part that didn't cut correctly. So what I'm saying is you would take this from the sheet, and then you would kind of arrange it how you want. Of course, I had to grab like a sheet from a very flowery kit from Coffee Doodles Co. And you can just arrange it how you want or layer it, and then you can kind of see how it'll look that way. And then whatever is extra, you can just lift off the sheet and then trim it from the back. So that way you can kind of create your own full box overlay. And it looks like that. It's perfect. So yeah, that's another really fun option for those sheets. And I can't wait to experiment more with that myself, because that means that I don't have to like customize them and then print them off every single time. I can print a bunch and then just like physically customize it, which is always really fun. So yeah, that is it for this new release video. The collection is live on my website now, of course. If you have suggestions for sticker sheets that you want to see or themes for collections that you want to see, let me know down below. And if you want to like, comment, subscribe, and share, that would be wonderful. And I will see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.